Many of y'all, this won't be as exciting as it is for me, but I bought my first brand new pressure pot. I've mentioned in my past live streams that my heating element went out on this pressure pot. And actually my wife and I heard it when it happened, just cook. And I was like, well, I want to try to fix it, but I thought, you know what, let me buy a brand new one. And if I can get this fixed, then I have two of them. I have a backup. So that's my plans, and pay attention to this channel. I will try to film this. If I can repair it, I'll post it. And if I can't repair it, well, y'all never see the video. I did buy my first pressure pot, my first brand new Great Lakes pressure pot. These are around close to $500, $493 or something like that. And so you're like, Cade, you got one right there. Wasn't that new? No, this wasn't new. I actually, when I left my last job where I was a Ortho lab manager, I made a trade with them. I had this very cool dental air compressor, quiet, silent air compressor. It's huge, and I didn't want to move it again. So I said, can I just leave this here and I'll trade you some equipment? So my steamer and a pressure pot I got from them. And so they were both used. So I've never owned a new one. Now I have made one out of a pressure pot from Walmart, and if I find the pictures, I'll post them here, but you'll see why I've never made a video on how to make your own. There's a liability there, as you can see in the pictures, and that's another story I'll tell later on if you want. But suffice it to say, 2 in the morning, that thing blows up beside you where you're working. It's very scary. I thought I died. Anyway, but I did get my brand new pressure pot in from Great Lakes. This is not a paid endorsement. They did not pay me. But if you're watching Great Lakes, you can send a check to me. That's fine. But like I said, they're on back order, and I heard that they've been on back order. I didn't think I would get it in this soon, but I'm excited because I get to unbox this. So we'll go over what the pressure pot does now, and then we'll unbox the new one, set it up, and then you can see maybe there's a difference, maybe there's not. These are pretty good pressure pots overall. They last a long time. No telling how old this one is. I would say we're decades. They haven't changed the design much, but we'll see what the difference is. But come on in here, let's look at what I have and what I'm doing right now. All right, so this is the current pressure pot, and like I said, the heating element went out on it. So what I've been doing is, and I need to do this anyway to change it out, is I've been pouring out the cold water and then going to my sink in this little red bucket that I have. It's actually a paint bucket I got from, I think it's for a couple bucks at Home Depot or something. And I would go pour it out in the sink. And then my sink has hot water, and I'll fill that bucket back up and pour it back in here. So that's something you can do. Let me get a paper towel real quick. So that's something you can do when your heating element goes out, is you can just replace the hot water a lot, which starts getting annoying, especially when you have a lot of retainers or whatever that you're doing. But as you can see, my pressure pot here, I think I got too much light coming in and a fly that's flying around. You can see I have tape here, and I'll show you in a little bit what that's doing. This actually does leak air. So, oh no, get back up there. No, you get back up there. So let me turn this on so you can see it. And so to pressurize this, you would push that forward, and there's a thing here on this side, and that pressurizes it. Back here is a regulator, and that regulator will actually keep it at 22 pounds of pressure, which is the ideal pressure for polymerization of acrylic. And then this is also your release. So you do this, and it will release the air that's in there. You can actually hear my that's on the other side of this wall go off. And then this is a fast release valve. But as you can see, once you get really fast with it, and you know my technique of using a coffee cup, put it in here, put the retainer on there, close it up, slide that forward, and then pressurize it, and then you can just walk away. And this will always keep pressure on there at 22 pounds at all times. So even if it leaks like it does, I don't know if y'all can hear that. Let me get closer to it. You can hear it leaking, but you can see I have tape here, and you can almost hear the change in the leak. Sometimes it's this thing, the pressure gasket. There's a safety slot here where you can actually, I can feel a little bit of air coming out of there. So I'll probably need a new gasket anyway. But let me open this up. I'll show you why I did this. Because it was, a few years ago, it was doing pretty bad as far as leaking air. And this is the original seal that came with the pressure pot. And this is a rubber gasket that I got. So I had to replace this. Went bad on me. It broke. And so actually you can see on this one actually broke also. So this was going out anyway. I was going to have to replace it pretty soon. And I may do that for my backup. There's a lot of labs that will, depending on how busy you are, it's nice to have 2 of these. So that's another reason I decided to just go ahead and pull the trigger and get a second pressure pot. Even if I can't ever fix the heating element on here, I can always have run 2 of these, pour hot water in one, and get it to work that way. So back here is a quick release valve for the air compressor. And as you can tell, I've already replaced this thing. This is not the one that came with it. It's actually, if you check my link below from Amazon, I think I put it in there. It's another regulator. Doesn't really fit in here very well, but it does its job. So pretty much the air goes into here. It pressurizes. You can set the pressure here of how much pressure you want. So a 22 PSI is what you want for acrylic. And that's it. That's pretty simple. Of course, this turns on and you would see a light if it was, well, it's not plugged in right now because I was afraid it might burn down the lab depending on how it's working. But there's another knob right here. If you can see right here, there's another knob that will, you can increase or decrease the temperature, but the ideal is 120 Fahrenheit. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but 120 Fahrenheit. But let's unplug this and get this out of the way and unbox the new one. And then we'll have a side-by-side. Try not to knock my monomer off. My beautiful but fragile monomer shelf. This is actually a fingernail coloring thing. I don't know fingernail polish holder thing. But here's the bottom, and that's what I'm going to get into. Later on, I'll try to do a video. Ooh, it's actually got a number on here. I wonder if I can look that up. See how old this pressure pot is. All right, let's get the new one out. And like I said, I have opened this. I just wanted to make sure that, yes, this was, oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. That could be one of the problems. I don't know what that is. Most likely it's acrylic. Well, if there's a part 2 to where I'm fixing that, maybe we'll figure out why there's this black dust. It feels like acrylic. Burnt acrylic. But like I was saying before, I opened it before just to make sure it was a pressure pot, and there it is. You can tell this is very well packed. I think I'll keep this box and this packing just in case I ever need to send this back. I can already tell this has been upgraded just from the doodads and whatnots on here. Let's see if I can get this out of here. There we go. And here it is. The feet are definitely more sticky. I can't slide that around as well. So that's going to be something to get used to. But same basic design. You have the air coming into the side of the tank. You got your, oh, that is a lot more stiff than I'm used to. And this is a little filter here, air inlet. I wonder if this is already preset to 22 pounds. And slide the locking, open it. Oh, and we got packing. Of course, brand new filter. And you can see those seals that they use. It's some sort of putty gel, RTB fluid they use on vehicles. I don't know. Oh, we got some instructions. 6-liter adjustable temperature pressure pot. Very cool. You can see on here, it still has the same sticker. Power, heater, and got that 120-degree thing. And hey, we got a serial number. Very cool. No dust falls out of this one. But we have, oh, I was missing this. I never got this little tray here. So we have instructions, relief valve, locking tab. It kind of goes over, has some instructions here. I'll go over these. I'll go over these real quick and come back to you on that. Oh, and air hose, which I already have my air hose, but this might be a nicer connector. And if the connectors are different, that's on the pressure pot. I might have to switch this out. What is this? I have no idea what this is. What is this? See, you get these used, you have no idea what is going on. Oh, is this a stand for this? Very cool. Okay, very cool. And so this is how you pull things out. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, you put this in the bottom of the pressure pot, and then you put this in here, which doesn't fit. Oh yeah, it does. I was worried for a second. And then you put your water on the bottom of that, and this would be your steam method. Whereas my coffee cup, poor black, used to be all black coffee cup that I would use, this was pretty much what this stand was. But then it also gave me the ability to knock it off of the cup into the water to do full soak. So it was a hybrid method. But that's cool. I might leave that in there. That actually shows you how much water you can have in here. But now that everything is pretty much 3D printed, you don't have to worry about soaking your models before you do this. Anyway, but now one thing would be cool is if this was cut in half and we had a half in here. I think somebody was working on designing one for these pressure pots as a half of a thing. Okay, I've read over the instructions and it looks like it's pretty basic. They want you to use distilled water in here to prevent mineral deposits, and they want you to change the water weekly and clean it out. Now I do that daily. It bare minimum every 2 days, but I usually do it daily as I pour it out in my little red bucket and I'll wipe it out. You'll be amazed what accumulates in here when you go to clean it out. And then the PSI actually needs to be between 15 and 20. Don't go over 20 PSI. Which I thought it was 22 PSI, I thought that was the ideal, but so I guess I got to set this to 20 and we'll go over that. And then seating of the pot, if you didn't know, is they talked about arrows. I don't know if I can pick this up or not. Okay, so aligning of the arrows. There's an arrow there, and then there's a big black arrow here. There we go. And you line those two up, let it, sometimes I put my hand on there like that, and then I'll slide it over. Oh, that is nice. Oh, that is nice. And then you would pressurize it, and you pressurize it by swinging the handle toward the hose, and that allows the air to go in and pressurize, and that's all you have to do. You just leave it. And then after like 10 minutes, you come back and you swing this way, and this is called an exhaust muffler, and I assume it sounds like it's just for sound, so that it's not like super loud when you release it. And then once the air pressure goes down, that's when you would slide this back. And oh, this is springy. I didn't know that. So you slide it back and open it. Oh yeah, so you see how that stays back, and you slide it forward and it clicks forward. I didn't know. My last one didn't have that. Okay, and I believe that is all of it. Again, you just turn this on. I usually just turn this on in the mornings when I get in and let it, whatever water's in there, it goes up to temperature. Now it does say don't run it without water, which is probably very important. It'll get too hot in there. If the air pressure exceeds 28 PSI, the relief valve will open and the pressure pot must be returned to Great Lakes to be reset. Do not tamper or replace any parts. This product must be plugged in and protected to the 3-prong outlet. So there is a pressure valve, and I feel like this is the, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, I believe this is the pressure relief valve. The one that had tape over it that was kind of leaking. I think that's the safety release valve that will release and it looks like you got to send it back to Great Lakes to get reset. So let's get into setting this up. So I'm going to take this cord. Hopefully this cord does look long enough. Very nice. All right, so I have a access hole back here if I can find it. Nope, I cannot. Where are you? No, don't fall. Oh, it's right here. No! Ow, stop it! Maybe I should have moved this acrylic before. Stop! Stop falling. Good thing is I only have to do this once, I think. Let me get this acrylic back. All right, let's get all this back to where it was. I'm missing one. Oh, there it is. There we go. I don't really have these I have really kind of in colors of reds, oranges, and yellows, greens, blues, purples. So let me move this back. This cord will have to start relaxing over time. I do like how steady that is. And I'm sure the rubber seals on the other one got hardened and brittle. All right, so yeah, I think it's the same thing as the other one. Let's see if I don't know if you can even see that. Dadgummit. Ooh. All right. So, as you can see, the instant I plugged that in, that went up to 20. So that tells me, can I zoom in? Yeah. So that tells me that this is already set for 20. And so if it was set too high, I can, I believe, slide this down, this little ring down, twist it until it releases some air, and then slide it back up to lock. I'm not gonna mess with that though. All right, now set this back up one more time. Kate, just learn your lesson, man. Don't be all cavalier about this. So then I'll plug this down here. I have a perfect plug, and that's all this plug does. Just dedicate it to just this pressure pot. And then if I turn this on, there we go, it turns on. I have a heater now. Very cool. All right, that's it. Well, let's put these two pressure pots side by side. Again, this number was 05749, and this one is 11282. So it's twice as many have been made since then, but you can kind of see the handles are different. You see that this one's more round. So if you ever need to pick these up, this is great to have handles like that. These is the exact same gauge. This one has some color in it. And of course, there's no tape on this one. But they've kept them pretty much the same. But if you notice, if I have that locked and I slide it, it stays back. And if I do this, that stays back. So now if I close the old one, I have to remember to push that forward. The new one, which is a cool feature, it automatically slides forward. Now let me try to pressurize this one. Again, I'm going to, finish the review, Kate. So everything down here is exactly the same. The switch feels, that might be what went out on this, is the switch. But yeah, that one feels pretty good. All right, so let's remove this one. So you see they've designed it that it is pretty much perfect the way it is. So that, you know, they've only upgraded a few parts, and I wonder if the old one, this sliding mechanism, all that looks the same. I wonder if the sliding mechanism, it just broke on that one. Maybe they all used to have it. If y'all have one of these that has that, an old one, near the same serial number, let me know if it had the same one. But I think they may have changed pressure pot manufacturers. They must make these there at Great Lakes. Probably have some girl or guy in the back just assembling them as they get made out of pots. But this is good. So, all right, here's the test. So, like I said, I've plugged in the air, and this is already set at 20 pounds. Ooh, 22 actually. And so then to pressurize it, I'm going to slide this forward. And that goes to 20 or 22? 20. I wonder if it'll increase. So then, listen how quiet that is. The last one just hissed because it was coming out of here, it was coming out of the old gasket. Look how quiet, listen how quiet that is. And also less stress on my air compressor. It's not just constantly running all the time. So, hello, Pete. Okay, so that's it. That is the final. We have taken out the old pressure pot, put in the new pressure pot, and it was pretty easy. Just unplug one, plug in the other one. Like I said, I'm going to try and repair that one, repair the heater on that one, and get it up and running also. Again, it still works as a pressure pot. You just got to add fresh hot water multiple times throughout the day. But it does a great job both ways. But super excited to get a brand new one. Never had a brand new one before. So if you have any questions about this, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. I'll put a link to the storefront where I bought this, where you can get your own. Again, usually they're on back order lately. And I think somebody assembles these at Great Lakes. But this is a standard in the industry that I've noticed throughout all the ortho labs I've been in, and pictures I've seen, and interviews I've done on the ORG podcast. They always have pictures of these. They have some that have just multiples of them, 7 or 8 of them at each acrylic station. So, like I said, they've designed them, and it's something that just works all the time. So, I'll leave you there, and again, I will see y'all next time. And until next time, happy bending.